doubt about it. You've been here. Now, this was never lying on top of the pile. You make a very poor spy, Raven. Really second rate.
Sky, where are you? Sky, where are you? Sky.
Yes, where are you, Jeff? Jefferson Brown, I miss you sometimes.
I told you once there was quite a bit of difference between a man and a boy. And I'll bet you've just been wondering about that ever since. I'll just bet you have. So, I'm gonna come back there and we're gonna talk about it.
No! 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 Somebody help! Somebody let me out of here!
Don't touch that bucket. Give me that phone.
No!
Give me that.
No!
Give me that phone.
That's Skylar Whitney. That's Skylar Whitney on the phone. Answer it or I will.
Thanks a lot. I gotta think about this one. Hey, come back here, come! Mr. Whitney, this is Gunther. I'm just calling, sir, to tell you that I'm coming back home. No, everything's just fine. Okay, good night, sir.
Valerie, sometimes... Oh, this is such a strange world. Please, for whatever comfort it can give you, try to remember what Kelly said. You're not alone. We're all here whenever you need us, from now on. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's so strange, though. Even though I knew how sick he was, the doctors gave me so little hope, I kept thinking that he would get better. I just thought we'd talk again and this whole nightmare would work itself out somehow. careful, sweetheart. I guess no matter how sick a person is, you never expect death to come. You're never really prepared for it. No, never. If I had just... No, please, don't do that. Don't think of what might have been. Please. You were a wonderful daughter for your father in the most trying circumstances. Please, you've got to remember that. Forget the rest. But I keep thinking about what I wanted to say to you. Please, Valerie, don't. I'm okay, really. It helps to talk about it. You're sure? All right, what would you say to us? I would have said, Daddy, I love you. I'm sure he knew that. And I would have also told him that I've forgiven him. Forgiven him? For his treatment of you, Mrs. Carr. I know you can never do that, but I'm sure of how sorry he was. And I forgive him. I've already done that, Valerie. He wasn't a bad person. He was weak, maybe, and easily led, but there were so many good and kind things about him. I know that. I saw that in him. Oh, God. Look at me. I am 21 years old. I feel like I'm 4. I am lost. I'm so lost. You are not lost. Valerie, you have a new family. You have a brand new family.
All the rotten things. Hear about the death of her father over a television set.
Well, it's a terrible shock under any circumstances. To hear it on the newscast. You know, I'm positive Nicole must have thought it was cleared and that Valerie had been notified. She's too responsible a journalist to put a story like that in the air without any thought but news value.
Yeah, I know that too, Mike. It's just that it was such a shock to Val.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Mike, I feel guilty. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to face her.
Why should you feel guilty, Kelly? You had nothing to do with her father's death. And the fact that it was announced publicly.
I know. It's just that I was thinking back to all those harsh things I said about her father. Mr. Big Mouth. Couldn't have kept my feelings to myself, no.
Hello?
Mike, it's Miles. Look, I just heard Nicole's broadcast about Dr. Bryson's death. Did you and Nancy hear it?
Yes, we did. Miles, Kelly and Valerie Bryson went to dinner tonight together, and he brought her back here afterwards. The first time she heard the news was on TV.
Oh, that's what I was afraid of. Look, Mike, I just got off the phone with Nicole. She was appalled to find out after the broadcast the hospital had given out the information without notifying his daughter. Now, somebody just handed the item to Nicole before she went on the air. She assumed notification had already been made. That's standard practice, you know?
Yes, I know it is. Somebody fouled up, that's all. We discussed it already and figured that's what must have happened.
Well, at any rate, Nicole is very, very upset.
Miles, reassure her that we understand it's not her fault.
Well, how's Miss Bryson doing? Terribly shaken, as you can imagine. We're going to try to convince her to stay here for the night, so she won't be alone. Well, that's a good idea. After all she's been through with her father not letting her come see her. Mike, we'll talk later. Jody, what's the matter? What happened?
It's Gunther. Gunther tried.
All right, no, wait a minute. Just calm down. Don't say anything. All right, you're home now, and you're safe. All right, come on. Sit on the couch. Just sit down there. Okay, take a nice deep breath. Come on, nice deep one. All the way out. All right, now. From the beginning, you just take your time. What happened?
I was leaving the dance studio, and I saw Gunther. And he said that Skylar Whitney sent the car for him to take me home. And I said to him, no, it's okay, I can find my own way home. But he insisted that he was under orders and he was to take me home. So like an idiot, I agreed, and I got in the back seat. And the next thing I knew, he locked the doors.
What?
He locked the doors, and I couldn't get out. Anyway, I realized that he had been drinking, and he was in a playful mood, if that's what you could call it. And then I knew this guy Whitney wasn't the one who sent the car for me, that it was Gunther's idea. And then he kept making all sorts of insinuations and embarrassing remarks about getting to know me better and other intimate things. And I kept pleading with him to please take me home, please take me home. But he wouldn't. Finally, he just kept grinning at me and staring at me, and he just kept saying all disgusting things.
Pig. That pig.
I don't know, Miles. Maybe it was his idea of a joke. But I'll tell you, I have never been so scared or panicked in my life.
Now, listen to me, Jody. Did he hurt you in any way? Did he assault you?
No. Well, not exactly. What he did was he got out of the car and he came around to the back seat and he started to get in. And I saw this phone and I grabbed it and I noticed this button that said SGW, and it must be a direct connection to the Whitney mansion. So I pushed the button and he got really mad and he grabbed the phone from me and he hung it up. And then he started to go for me again, but then the phone started to beep. And he looked at the phone, and he looked at me, and he started to back off. I guess it was Skylar Whitney on the phone calling him back. Anyway, he got out of the car, and he walked around to the front of the car, and I knew this was my only chance. So the doors opened, so I jumped out of the car, and I ran as fast as I could. And I have been running ever since.
So if that phone hadn't rung, you would have been in real trouble, is that right?
I would have been in a lot of trouble, yeah.
All right, I'll tell you what you did, come here. Then go up to bed, try to get some sleep. I'm not going to tell you to try not to think about this, because I know that's impossible, but I just want you to keep thinking you're home now, and you're safe, all right? So thank God you didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
You go on now.
Good night.
It's Gunther, Mr. Whitney.
Well, what is it you want, Gunther?
Well, I'm just checking in, sir.
Well, all right, you have.
Oh, is there anything that I can do for you or Mrs. Whitney?
No. Mrs. Whitney is in the game room, I believe, watching television. Why don't you ask her?
Yes, sir. Good night, sir.
I always knew this was a box full of dynamite. And now it's blown up in my face.
And this just in. Dr. Kenneth Bryson, the plastic surgeon indicted in the kidnapping of Nancy Carr, has died.
So, he's dead. Now Dr. Kenneth Bryson will never be able to talk about this face. But what about Raven? Raven always talks too much.
Wonder what's going on at the Kavanaugh house.
What did Miles have to say on the phone?
He just said, we'll talk later, and hung up very abruptly.
Oh, well, maybe he got an emergency call from the hospital or something.
Yes, could be.
Nancy, how is she?
Well, she seems a bit calmer. I let her cry for a while, and we talked, and she's resting now.
Did you convince her to stay here tonight?
Oh, yeah, she was more than willing to stay. She doesn't want to be alone.
I hope she sleeps. That's what she needs more than anything right now.
I know that, but it just doesn't seem very likely.
Well, young man, how are you feeling today?
Well, much better now.
Yes, you always seem to feel much better after your daily visitor arrives. Hello, love.
Hi, Daddy.
So, Miss Nightingale, you're still ministering to the sick, eh?
Oh, yeah.
What are you reading to the lieutenant today?
Remembrance of things past.
Proust. Don't you think that's a bit much?
No. You know how bright I am, Daddy. Anyway, Lieutenant Dietrichson helps me along if I stumble.
Oh, I see. Well, then. Now, don't get all involved and spend all day out here. You missed dinner last night, young lady. We dine at 7, remember?
I'll remind her, sir.
Good. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Lieutenant. Oh, and Valerie. See you at dinner.
Yes, sir. So, how is Lieutenant Dietrichson today?
Well, Lieutenant Dietrichson is just fine now, thanks. Now that Miss Valerie Bryson is here. Before I see you, it's all a bore. I am sick to death of these swaddling clothes.
Stop. Patience, patience. Daddy told me yesterday that the bandages should come off in 10 days or so. I know you can't wait. But I'm just as anxious as you are. Can you imagine? All these weeks that we've been together and I still don't know what you look like.
That is odd, isn't it? Ah, but what were to happen if they removed the bandages and underneath I was as ugly as an old frog? Huh? What would you do then?
Oh, surely you know the ending to that story. The princess simply kisses the frog and turns him into a handsome prince.
Oh, is that the way that story ends, eh? But seriously, Valerie, I wouldn't want you to see what's underneath the bandages until my face heals completely.
You just realize that your face will be as new to you as it will be to me.
I hope that we both like it.
I am going to like it. I am sure of that, Lieutenant.
See Gunther.
Who, sir?
Gunther Sylvester Wagner. Get him!
Well. Christy told me there was a gentleman here to see me. I think she's wrong. That is no gentleman, Chrissy. That is Dr. Miles Cavanaugh. So what do you want, Doctor? I said, why are you here? Somebody sick?
Yeah, somebody's sick, Gunther. Happens to be you. Now, I know that you're not overly bright, but it's a sure thing you know exactly why I'm here right now. Just what the hell did you think you were doing with Jody Travis tonight?
I was just doing my job. You know, trying to take her home. Mr. Whitney asked me to do so.
You're a liar.
What?
I said you're a liar. Mr. Whitney gave you no such order. You picked her up on your own. You intimidated her. You scared the life half out of her. Now, if I find that you come within 10 blocks of her any time in the future, the only things you're going to be able to molest are the cockroaches in a jail cell.
Listen, I don't have to take this from you. Who the hell?
Maybe you would like to explain what happened tonight to Chief Mallory.
What is all this? What's going on here, Dr. Cavanaugh? Gunther?
Look, he's trying to cause some trouble, Mr. Whitney. I told you once before. He's got it in for me. You know, like, he'll tell any kind of lie to make trouble for me, but I'm going to take care of it, Mr. Whitney. Now, you get out of here, Doctor. I said get out.
A little more pressure on your wrist, Gunther, and I can send you out of here in an ambulance. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save that in case this happens again, which I doubt. If you can't get a license for your animals, at least try to keep them on a leash.
I don't think you're needed any longer, Chrissy.
Yes, Mr. Whitney.
Well, Gunther, just what the hell was that all about?
I'm sure I don't know, Mr. Whitney. Look, the only thing I know is that Doc Kavanaugh has had it in for me ever since that time I was following Miss DeVal. I don't know why he should resent me so much. I'm just trying to do my job. Maybe, look, you know, he might be just a little sweet on her, you know?
You're lying, Gunther. Kavanaugh came in here like an outraged father avenging his daughter. Now, I want to know what caused that anger. Just what did you do to Jody Travis?
Not a damn thing. Now, it's honest. Look, all I was trying to do was just give her a little lift home. I don't know. Maybe she misunderstood my intentions. But, hell, that's not my fault. Look, all I was trying to...
You listen to me, Gunther. You stay away from that little girl. Kavanaugh knows nothing about the weaknesses that you've got like I do. Like, for example, how would you like to be out of a job? You just might not be able to get another one. Yeah, you might end up having to live with that crazy girlfriend of yours, Roxanne. They ever let her out?
The castle was deserted for a minute. Where's Miles? On an emergency call?
No, well, at least not a medical emergency.
Jody, what is it? Something's wrong. What is it?
Well, we had a little trouble tonight.
What kind of trouble?
Trouble with, the trouble is I wish I didn't make such a big deal out of it to Miles. That's the trouble.
Honey, I don't understand what you're talking about. Now, please tell me what's wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, tonight when I was leaving the dance studio, Skyler Whitney's chauffeur was waiting for me.
You mean Gunther?
Yeah. Anyway, he told me that he had strict orders from Sky to pick me up and take me home. I found out that it was Gunther's idea. Anyway, he got me in the car and he started making nasty remarks.
Oh, that rotten creep. Go on, Jody.
Well, anyway, he locked the door so I couldn't get out, and I didn't know what to do. So I saw this phone, and it had a button that makes a direct connection to the Whitney mansion. Anyway, I picked up the phone, and I pushed the button, and Gunther got really angry, and he grabbed the phone from my hand, and he hung it up. And then he started to go for me, and the phone started to beep. And he looked at the phone, and he looked at me, and then he backed out of the car, and I guess it was Sky on the phone. Anyway, it scared him enough to give me a chance to get away.
Oh, honey, what a horrible thing to have happened to you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm all right. It's just that I got scared. So I came home and I told Miles the story, and he sent me upstairs to bed to rest. And then I heard the front door slam, and I know he went to the Whitney mansion. And, Nicole, that's what really scares me, is he's at that mansion.
Well, just don't worry about Miles. I'm sure he'll be able to handle it. He'll do the right thing to keep this from ever happening ever again. Let's just relax, okay? You're not hurt. That's the main thing. Come here and sit down. You're safe, and you're at home, and you're okay. That should make you feel a little bit better, and after a good night's sleep, you'll be your same old young self again.
No, I've tried to sleep. I couldn't. I heard Adam tossing and turning, so I went in to see him.
Well, now that should make anybody feel better. And what did Adam in all his 3-year-old wisdom have to say?
Go to sleep, Jody. So I tried, but it didn't work.
Well, I don't blame you.
You know, it's funny. I've been walking around and thinking about how life changes all of a sudden, you know?
Why? Is there something else on your mind besides the Gunther incident?
Yeah, and I'm glad you're home because you're the person I want to tell the most.
Oh, great. I'm right here. Tell me.
Well, it's something that scares me a little bit. And yet it's the most wonderful thing in the world that's ever happened to me. Even Gunther couldn't spoil it. I used to wonder if I would ever know when it happened to me. And now I don't wonder anymore. I do know. Nicole, I'm really in love.
With Kelly?
No, I've never felt this way about Kelly or anybody else for that matter. It's Gavin Wiley. I'm in love with Gavin Wiley. And he loves me too.
Hi, Val. I was just fixing myself something to eat. Would you like something?
Oh, no, thanks. I couldn't sleep. I thought maybe some milk would help. I didn't want to wake anybody, though.
Oh, you have it. A glass of milk sounds like a real good idea. There you go. Oh, here, have a seat.
Thanks.
Fix it right away for you. There you go. I really wish I could do something for you right now, more than just fix you a glass of milk.
Kelly, I don't know what I would have done if it hadn't been for you in the cars. If I had been alone when I heard the news about my father.
Yeah, but you're not alone. You're with people who care about you a lot.
Thank you.
You couldn't sleep, huh?
Oh, God, I just lie there and these memories of my father just keep flooding my mind. I keep thinking about the few times, really, that I was even with him in the last few years.
In Europe, you mean?
Yeah. 3 years ago, I guess, was the longest time I've spent with him. I spent my summer vacation at his clinic in Lucerne. I guess I was there about 2 months. That was the last time I ever lived with him. And even then, I didn't really see him very much.
Why not?
Oh, his wife, Beth. She kept me at arm's length as much as possible. She wasn't overly fond of me.
Yeah, now that was her loss.
Oh, but Daddy was so busy, too. I ended up spending a lot more time with one of his patients.
Oh, yeah? Who was that?
There was a lieutenant named Jim Diedrichson. He'd been wounded in the Vietnam War, and he was at the clinic having a series of plastic surgery operations to reconstruct his face. And the strange thing, I never saw his face. I don't know what he looks like.
You never saw it? Not even after?
I had to go back to school before he was released.
I see. That, sounds pretty romantic, was it?
I guess it was As close to a real romance as I've ever come.
Do you still think of him?
No, not really. Sometimes. I wonder what he looks like. Where he is.
The plane apparently had slid into a mountain crevasse upon impact, and only a few remnants of the aircraft have been found. Identification was made through serial numbers found on a piece of the tail section. There were no known survivors. Skylar Whitney, International Society figure, has been released from the hospital after spending several weeks in a coma. Mr. Whitney was found in a mountain lodge near the village of Sunderman after the plane crash that took the life of his friend and co-pilot, Jefferson Brown.
Well, Raven knows. She knows who I am, and she knows what I've done. I once swore that no one would ever know my name. What the hell am I going to do? That guy. What the hell was his name? Yeah, I've got to his place. Romeo. Wherefore art thou, Romeo?
I had a hunch you'd be here. Can I join you?
Well, if you absolutely positively can't help yourself.
Oh, thanks. You always make me feel so welcome. Hey, Bobby, how are you?
Good, how are you? Can I get you something?
Yeah, please. An English muffin and coffee.
Okay, coming right up.
An English muffin? What is this? Are you getting to be continental now or something?
No, man, I'm a good old American boy. I like English muffins, that's all.
What are you so darn cheerful about?
Oh, nothing special. I just feel good.
Oh,
Great, as a matter of fact.
That's quite a switch. He's usually running around dragging his chin on the floor.
What's the matter with him? Why is he so grumpy? Oh, Star got an offer to do a singing engagement in San Francisco for 3 or 4 weeks, and this fool told her she could go. Now he's angry because she's leaving. Well, it's your own fault, right?
I had no choice. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Go stomping around and yelling about it?
Like you always do.
Thanks. Be the husband determined to keep her at home? I mean, we've been having enough trouble the past couple of months.
Well, you better learn to work it out with her, man. I mean, you two are married.
Tell me about it, and don't be fresh with your betters. Just take some well-heeled advice. Women, God bless them, are wonderful, but marriage, gentlemen, is for the birds.
Hey, we've got trouble, Calvin. Lawyer in the place. You sure look happy all of a sudden.
I'm going over to greet a rather charming adversary.
Sure, it'll be a nice break for us.
Well, if it isn't, Miss Bannister, as I live and breathe. Fancy meeting you here.
Gee, if I had known this was a hangout for the police, I would have gone someplace else.
You jest. You don't mind if I have a seat, do you? Listen, I realize you're a bit concerned about your client, Jimmy Krause, but you must understand that all I did at the hearing was tell Judge Weeks exactly what happened.
Yes, well, we don't deny that he shot you, Mr. Stoner. We know that. But you made it sound like it was attempted murder. Your testimony made it almost impossible for Mr. Krause to get any kind of lenient sentence.
Well, that's exactly as it should be. Look, what is this deep concern you have for Jimmy Krause? He is a genuine card-carrying crook, and you know it.
See, that's the difference between you and me, Mr. Stoner. I'm talking about justice. And all you can talk about is getting the bad guys. Well, I'm glad you can be so certain just who the bad guys are, because I'm not always so sure. And I see to it that my clients get the benefit of that and every other reasonable doubt. And if you didn't have such a mean streak in you, you'd be able to understand that.
Mean Street? Look, I am still carrying the effects of Mr. Krause's accidental shooting last week. I mean, when a guy pulls a gun and pulls the trigger, it becomes crystal clear that neither he or his intentions are good.
I'm sorry about your wound, Mr. Stoner. I really am. But it would give me a great deal of pleasure if you would please leave my table and go back to your own.
Miss Bannister, it would give me a great deal of pleasure to give you a great deal of pleasure. So what's this all about? He comes in, orders English muffins, he's got them already, and we're still waiting for hamburgers.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're coming right up. I promise.
You're a pretty popular man around here. Why don't you give that lady a chance?
No thanks. I got other plans regarding the lady.
Oh, my goodness, we've been so worried. What happened over there at the Whitney house?
No reason to worry about me, honey. I didn't punch Gunther in the nose. Didn't punch me either.
Well, what did happen?
I just had a little bit of a conversation with him, that's all. I think I made it clear enough that he was not to go near Jody ever again.
Well, what about Skylar Whitney? Was he there?
Yes, he was. I'm glad to say.
Oh, I just knew there was something awful about that man. I don't want either one of you around Gunther anymore. Do you hear me?
I'm not going to go near him. Look, how about we just forget about this, okay? I'm sorry it caused so much trouble, and I'm sorry I told Miles at all. I didn't know he was going to go out and do that.
All right, well, let's all just try and forget.
No, not quite. I think the police should have this information about Gunther.
Oh, honey, please, you don't...
Wait a minute, you two. Just let me handle this, will you? I'm going to file a complaint in the morning.
Well, what do you want?
I just wondered if Mr. Whitney needed anything more before I retired.
Well, he just left. Do you think I'd be drinking his best brandy if he was still here?
Where's the missus?
I don't know, and I don't care.
How's your wrist? Do you need me to get anything for it?
It's just fine. Hey, look, honey, don't get a wrong impression from what you saw here tonight. I could take Doc Cavanaugh out in a minute, except I'm afraid I might lose my job. Besides, I had too much to drink.
Oh, I'm sure you could beat Dr. Cavanaugh. Well, night.
Toast to you, sir. In your Napoleon brandy. To Napoleon Whitney, in your brandy. That's a good one.
You guys want another one down there? We can do it later in the morning.
I'm looking for Mr. Slade.
Yeah, right over there. He's expecting you. Nick, another drink?
Yeah, Tony, please.
You the guy who called?
Yeah.
I'm Romeo.
Romeo, huh? Well, your parents couldn't have had that bizarre a sense of humor. That couldn't be your real name.
Nope, it's a nickname. But I still had to earn it.
The person who recommended you said that you had earned your nickname by being a real lady killer. Is that right?
Hmm? Who was it that recommended me?
This guy I met. Someone had used your services some years before. He was a rather large individual with large appetites. He had a pleasingly plump, pleasingly wealthy wife who he no longer was interested in. I don't know the details, but perhaps you remember the Riviera?
Hotel Duchamp. Boating accident, I believe.
Yeah, I read about it someplace. What's your point?
I'm in need of those same special services.
You know the price?
I've heard.
Well, it's higher than it used to be. Inflation really gets to you. Everybody's affected by it these days.
I'll pay it. If you do the job exactly according to my specifications.
Which are?
You'll wait till I'm out of town. You'll make it appear like an attempted burglary.
I think we call that breaking and entering. Any servants?
They'll be gone. My wife apparently will discover you and go to raise an alarm, but she won't make it.
You're really crazy about her, aren't you?
No, I want one thing absolutely clear. I want the job done quickly. She must not feel any pain. She must not have any fear. I will not have her suffer. I want that understood. And I want it understood clearly.
Okay. There's no need for such vehemence. I'm a professional.
I just want to get it over with.